Hi everybody, Mrs. Fransisco here. I hope you are all doing all right, especially in lockdown, and I hope you've been enjoying my videos. So we're moving on to video 5. In the first 3 videos we looked at the 3 elements that work together to take a really good photo. Then the last video we looked at focal length, and today we're going to look at 6 inbuilt modes and aids in your phone to help you take the best photo possible and how to make your photos look even better. So let's have a look. So we're going to start off by looking at the flash. Okay, so the flash looks the same. It's a universal symbol, so you would find the symbol on your phone, you'd find it on your camera, you'd find it on any smartphone really. So what I want you to do is you would open up your camera, and at the top there's a little circle, and normally the arrow's pointing up. If you click on that arrow, it'll point down and it'll open up a slider menu at the bottom. And what you want to be using is the flash. So why do we use flash? You use flash when the conditions are dark and you're not able to get any natural light, okay? So I'll show you a picture that I took. Here I took a picture of a lamp. It's in a room. It's got a ceiling light on, so you can see there is still a little bit of light, but it's not, it could be lighter. I set my flash, normally I have it on auto flash. I'm just going to go back a second. Flash auto, and the phone decides itself whether the flash needs to be used. So that's what it was like on that one. It decided it didn't need to be used. So I put the flash on, and this is how the image came out. So you can see that everything's brightened up. The cream of the light shade has become brighter, and the light of the drawers, it's the top of the drawers, has also become lighter. You can see that the colours have gone from, that's kind of like a warm cream, and the flash has made it quite cool. Okay, so that's why you use your flash. Basically, if it's very dark conditions and you need to lighten something up, you can put it on rather than have it on auto. Another thing that you can use, and we'll go back to the menu that I told you before. So you press your little arrow, the slider menu comes up, and then this symbol means your timer. Okay, timer's super easy. I'm sure you've used timer before, but you switch that on. If there's a group of people who are already assembled and you haven't got an arm long enough to be able to take a selfie of everybody, you can set your camera up. You can set it on to 3 seconds or 10 seconds. So once you press that button to take the photo, you've got that amount of time to get yourself into the photo. Really super easy, something super simple to help you all get into the photo at once, because normally the person who's taking the photo doesn't get to be in the picture. Okay. Another thing is the grid. Okay, so you might have seen in some of the photos that I have taken in the other videos, I've had a grid on top of my display. So to get the grid on, you would go into your settings on your phone, and then we've got the camera app. Click on your camera, and then at the bottom we've got grid. So you can see that mine's turned on. You can turn it on or off, but I would suggest you put it on. Okay, because in photography there is something called the rule of thirds, and it's something that all photographers try to use. Although I will be honest, some people do bend the rules, but if you know it, you're going to be able to take nicer, better photos. So if we look at this grid that's on top of the photo, it's been split up into 9 equal boxes, but what's more important is that it's split up into thirds. Okay, so we've got a third at the top, a third in the middle, and a third at the bottom, and likewise we've got a third at the left, third in the middle again, and third at the right. So you can see that this dog has been placed into the right hand third. Okay, and what that does is it helps to take the focus away from the dog, and it helps your eyes wander across the image a little bit more naturally than it would if the dog was just in the middle. And what I tend to do is when I look at this dog, I kind of follow his gaze, and it makes me wonder, I wonder what's past all of these trees. I wonder what he's looking at. It also helps you look at this meandering path. The rule of thirds is there to just help guide your eyes across the image where normally you probably wouldn't do that. It also helps with symmetry. So although this image is kind of following the rule of thirds, but not the way that you're being taught now. So let's just compare the two. So on the right hand side, this is very much following the rule of thirds, okay? This upright rock is in the left third of the image. It's lined up with this line. And again, the landscape is in line with this bottom line, okay? So it's in the left third and the bottom third. Even though the rock in the middle is the item that's in the foreground, you look at that rock instantaneously because it's there, but the focus, what's in the middle of the image, is actually the sand dunes. So the placement of the rock helps you to look further into the image and not just focus on the rock. You can see on the left hand side, this rock hasn't been placed into one of the left-hand third, the right-hand third, or the bottom. It's smack bang in the middle of the photo. You can see it is using the rule of thirds because the top of the rock is equidistant from the top of the image and the bottom is equidistant to the bottom of the image. But because the rock is in the middle, it means the rock is the focus of the image. And it doesn't allow your eyes to wander across the image as you would with the image on the right hand side. So you do look at the rocks and the sand dunes in the background, but it doesn't come as naturally. Another reason you would use these grid lines is just to help you get things nice and straight and make sure that you haven't got a wonky horizon or that this rock isn't veering off to the right hand side. So switch your grid on your phone and have a go at playing around with it. Use it to help you make sure everything's symmetrical, make sure that the thing that you're taking a photo of is straight, and have a go at placing the thing you're taking a photo of in one of the thirds. And that's going to make your image more pleasing to your eye. It's going to help your brain process it a little more. So something else that we use, that we have on our phone, is Timelapse. So Timelapse is actually your phone taking lots and lots and lots of photos in a given amount of time, and then it speeds up those photos when it produces a video. So I'm just going to show you a video that I've got of time-lapse. It's very short, but you can see here that the cars are moving really quickly, much faster than the cars would be in real life. You have to set your camera up in a steady position. You can't move because otherwise the images won't look right when all of these images are put together into a short clip. But it's just a really cool way of showing something that normally would take a long time and condensing it down. So another thing that would happen that you might want to condense into a shorter period of time is something like sunset. You set your camera up, switch it on, let it record sunset, and say sunset takes an hour. When you play it through time-lapse, it would condense it down to being 1 or 2 minutes. Okay? So sunset, you might want to, something else that you could watch is waves coming in and out, the clouds. That's another really cool thing that you can watch using time-lapse. Likewise, we also have slow-mo. Slow-mo standing for slow motion. So just like time-lapse speeds everything up, slow-mo slows everything down. So they use a series of images and they are put together in a short video. I'm going to show you an example of slow-mo. So you'll recognise this from the Christmas video that we did for you. Mr. Manny, when he was videoing us, he didn't realise he had it on the slow-mo setting. So instead of it taking a few seconds, you can see it's going to take 31 seconds if you want to watch. Everything's slowed down. My voice, the dance, the movements. There you go, you can hear my voice. Sounding like a dinosaur. And then at the end it'll speed back up. There we go. So you can see that's another way of using one of the modes on your phone. So slow-mo, you could use slow-mo to slow down the waves crashing if you go to the beach. If you're wanting to slow down your friend doing tricks on their bike or on their skateboard, that's another really cool way of using slow-mo. Or fireworks, if you use slow-mo while you're recording fireworks, you can slow them down, you can see them exploding. That's another really cool way of using slow-mo. Okay, finally, we've got the panorama. Okay, the panoramic setting. Again, you're in your camera, you're looking at the scrolling menu at the bottom, you scroll across to pano. Okay, pano is really cool if you're wanting to take a 180-degree photo of something that you can see in front of you. So, for example, this image, I went to New York for my honeymoon, and I was on Brooklyn side, and I wanted to take an image of Manhattan on the other side of the river, and I used pano to be able to get in everything that I could see. If I'd just taken a normal photo, I probably would have only been able to see one small part of that image. I'm just going to show you a very short clip about how to use panorama.
Lisa here. I'm going to tell you how to take a panoramic picture with your iPhone. So first thing you want to do is open up your camera app. And when it opens up, it's going to open up to the regular photo setting. You want to slide over, it'll go to the square setting, and then again to get to the panoramic picture setting. Once you're here, you'll see that it says, move iPhone continuously when taking a panorama. That's exactly what you're going to do. So you want to start out at the far left of what you want a picture of. Then you're going to press the camera shutter button, and you're going to move it around from left to right. And your goal is to keep the arrow that shows up nice and flat on the line. Once you've gotten all the way to the right, you press the shutter again. And then you can view your picture by tapping on the bottom left-hand corner where the camera roll is. And there it is. You can also rotate your phone to see it bigger.
Okay, so there are 6 modes that you can use on your phone, already built in. I'm sure they're available on other smartphones, not just your iPhone, or on other devices, maybe a tablet that you've got. So what do I want you to do? So I want you to have a look at your smartphone or any device you've got in your house and have a look to see if you've got those things built in. So time-lapse, slow-mo, have you got the grid that you can put onto your camera for the rule of thirds? If your phone has got the grid capability, take a photo of your subject using the rule of thirds that I explained earlier. Then take another without and see which of the photos you prefer. Explain why. So I'd like you to write this down. Send me the 2 photos with your explanation. And then just have a go at playing around. Take a range of photos using the different modes that you can use on your camera. What do you prefer? And I'd love to see them. So I'm really looking forward to hearing from you all. I'm really looking forward to seeing the photos that you're taking using this week's video. And take care. Bye.